Yeah, I have skills that I shouldn't have. Yeah, a new glitch was found, and we're gonna cover that today. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video, and today we're gonna be covering a very stupid, broken glitch. Now, this glitch is probably crossing moral grounds and will, probably upset a lot of people, especially like the build community. So I do apologize in advance, but this will literally, if you take this path, make your builds even more insane. First off, I do want to give a big shout out to Anonymous. You know who you are. They did not want credit for the find, but again, thanks for showing this. Anyways, as you can see in the skill tree, we have skills without even like going down the tree. We're still all the way up here by this red bar. And yeah, I have this maxed out. I have my capstone. I have, Berserk, the most overpowered thing I'll aim on. One more example here, you can see we are this far down the tree and blue tree. But yet I have 5 points in smelter, even though, I shouldn't be down there. And just so you know, this is not from the class mod. This is the class mod icon. So we legit have 5 points all the way down here. And just so you know, these skill points are real. They actually function even though we're not down there in the tree. So if you think about it, we have access to all of our skills, regardless of how deep we go in the tree. Yeah, you can see why this is broken. Also, this will work for every character in the game, so it's not only aim on. So have fun. Anyways, finally to the point, how do you do the glitch? Well, what you're gonna do is have a fresh skill tree. You can see here we have 49 points. Kind of build your skill tree in reverse. So think of a skill you really want in your build that's deep in the tree. For example, let's say I want electrical fire all the way at the bottom of the tree. Now, normally you'd have to invest 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 26 skill points to get all the way down here. But instead, we can invest 1 skill point. So in order to do this, you're going to fake boost your skills. So let's just go ahead and dump a few points here, and just kind of move down the tree. We need to get down to the skill first, and then we're going to undo all this. Put up to 2 points from the limit of the skill on any skill just to move down the tree. So for example, we have 5 points on the skill, so only put 3 there. Don't put 4, put 3. So just 2 points under the limit of the skill just to move down the tree. And then we're going to glitch it out. So we're going to do 3 here, 3 here. And then you can do 2 or 1, that's fine. So 3, don't do 4. You want to make sure you're 2 under. So we'll do 1. Okay, finally we could jump the point into electrical fire. Boom, we have that. And you know what? We'll grab the capstone too. Storm cutter. Boom. And we'll also grab force of nature. We'll put that on. So what we're going to do is undo all this except for electrical fire. Get down to 1 skill point. And you can go ahead and go into a different tree and just dump all your points in there just to get down to 1. This is just, a placeholder for the moment. We can undo it. So now we're down to 1 skill point, right? So now you're going to go over to your skills that are right under your skill that you were trying to boost permanently. So again, we're trying to boost electrical fire. Go up to a skill here, judgment, for example, 3 out of 5. And on mouse and keyboard, I don't know what it is for controller. You can hold down a button to dump all your skill points into the skill. But because we only have 1, what's going to happen is it's going to dump 1 skill point into it. So for mouse and keyboard, we hold spacebar to dump all points. So we'll do that. Boom. We just dumped all 1 point into the skill. And then now what you're going to do is undo it. So we just dumped all 1 point into the skill. We're going to click undo. And notice we're not going to drop down to 3. We're going to drop down to 2. Yeah. So what we're doing here is tricking the game into thinking we dump more than 1 into the skill. And then we're undoing it. So we're going to dump all the points again by holding spacebar. So do that. It's going to dump 2. And then click undo. It's going to take out another point. And then we'll do it one more time here. Dump all points, and then undo, and boom. We now have taken out all the points from Judgment, and still have the capstone, even though it shows here on the red box that we should not be down here. But it's real. It's permanently unlocked. From here, we have 4 skill points, and like I said before, you want to make sure you're at least 2 under the skills limit. So we have 5, so 3. So if I were to do the thing again and dump all the points into the skill, we would lead up to 5 out of 5 on this. In fact, I can do that right now. Drop it all. We have 5 out of 5. Now, if I try to undo that, it's not going to work because we are maxing out the skill. So what you want to do is go back to a different skill tree again, start dumping the points, get back down to 1. Again, you can use like 2 or 3 as long as you don't max out the skill, but it's easier just to have 1. It's easier to think about. So we have 1 skill point left. We're going to dump it by holding spacebar, dump all the points, and then undo it. Boom, we removed that point again. Now we have 2 skill points, and again, if I were to dump it here, it would make it 5 out of 5. That's no good. We got to make sure we're under the limit. So go back to a different skill tree, drop off the point, come back, dump all the points, remove the point, dump all the points, remove the point, dump all the points, remove the point. And there you go. You have removed that skill too. And we still have our capstone. So it is a tedious process to get a build filled out here, but again, you're saving so many skill points for your build, in which right now we have like limited skill points for builds, so this is quite a insane trick for building. By the way, you can grab anything deep in the trees. You don't have to grab one thing. I could have grabbed, you know, more here and then undid things above to keep those points. So let's go ahead and grab Berserk as another example. So we need more skill points, so we're going to go ahead and come back to the blue tree where we just dumped, you know, random points and remove those, take those out. Now we have 33. So we're going to do 5 in Berserk, 3 in only red, and you know what? Let's go ahead and get Touches Death. That's quite a good skill too. But a lot of times when you're doing a build, you grab things that you don't really need just to move down the tree. And this is like one good example. People usually dump points here or even like here just to move down and get my Touches Death. But guess what? We can remove those. So we're at 2 out of 5. Let's go ahead and get it up to 4 out of 5 or even, you know, 3 out of 5. It doesn't really matter. So come over here, dump all your points, get down to 1. Just remember, getting down to 1 point makes it the easiest to think about. You don't have to like think about the calculations too much. So we have 1 point left, jump all the points, remove the point. And there we go. We now have my Touches Death permanently, even though we didn't put 2 points to move down the tree there. From here, it's just a bunch of cleanup, so all these points up here I don't want. These are like the major skills I wanted for my build. So we'll go ahead and go back to blue tree, or even green tree, it doesn't matter. Just get rid of the points down to 1. Come back over here, dump the points, remove the point, dump the points, remove the points. So basically, just to word out like what buttons I'm clicking, at least on mouse and keyboard, is I'm holding spacebar to dump all the points, and then I'm doing right click to undo the point. Just to make it like a little bit easier to understand, so it's not as confusing. Because again, I don't know what those buttons are on controller, but whatever those buttons are, like, it should be the same buttons. Okay, dump the point, remove the point, dump the point, removed. And you are removed too. Boom. Get down to 1. Come back over here, do the same thing, and then rinse and repeat. And there we go. We have now grabbed some of the major skills in Amon's red tree and only invested, what is that, 12 points? So you can see why this is extremely powerful. We can, like, you know, get away with not having to dump points to get down a tree. And that leaves us with a lot of extra points to build into our build. So you can see why this is so powerful. Now, this will 100% likely get patched in the future, but one thing to note is, like, this is not going to be an easy thing to patch. Even if they fix the interaction of, like, you know, glitching down your skills, how do they remove the ones that you already have in your skill tree? The only way I can see is they, like, full reset everybody's skill tree in a patch one day, which would suck. But yeah, if your skills are locked in place, like, how do they know which ones to remove? So it is entirely possible that when they fix this glitch someday that your skill tree will still stay intact. And as long as you don't respec ever again, you can keep your glitch skill tree. Anyways, have some fun with it, you know, make some crazy builds. Again, I know it's crossing a moral ground and some people are not going to be happy about this glitch. But I think it needs to be shared and people need to know about it. But yeah, you guys have a great day. Thanks for watching the video and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.